What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy the Goose, and the goose is loose, baby. Ha! And I am here today to give you my review of episode number 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Before we get into that, let me do a little channel maintenance. First off, if you're new, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If the button is still red, that means you're not subscribed. We're on our track to 100 subscribers, and every subscription along the way counts. I really want to grow this community so I can continue to do these videos and continue to provide this content because I'm really enjoying doing it, and I want to make something of this. So please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you could as well. You probably haven't liked a video on YouTube today because nobody really does. Do me a favor, give me a like. It means so much to me having such a small channel. It helps me with algorithms. It helps my channel's overall site and exposure. So please drop a like, comment, get involved down below. And with that being said, one more thing. If you are watching this channel and you have any kind of experience with Photoshop or with thumbnail creation, reach out to me if you're interested, because I'd like to up my thumbnail game. Whether that's like creating thumbnails that can be easily recreated, that's what I was doing at the beginning of the channel. Whether you yourself have an artistic drive, I am comfortable giving creative control of my thumbnails to an artist. I'm comfortable with that. I'm cool with it. So if that's something that interests you, drop a comment down below. If you know me outside of this, find me on any of my socials or message me on my Twitter account, the Goose Games. With all of that being said, let's get into episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we start off with the Global Repatriation Council commercial and cut from that directly to Captain America being a scumbag. I think he says something like, don't let him breathe. Like, keep the pressure on him kind of a thing. And I can't breathe. Don't let him. It didn't feel good. Really didn't feel good. They're making sure we know I said at the beginning John Walker was redeemable. No, he's not. And he's going to probably do things even worse as this goes on. And then in an attempt to flex, he screams. I couldn't find a hat today, by the way, so sorry if I'm fidgeting with my hair a lot. Then he screams in the German. I believe this is in a German country. In the German man's face, do you know who I am? And the man speaks English to him, showing he didn't need a translator, but you didn't even bother to ask. And you're not bilingual. Bucky is bilingual. Sam is bilingual. I'm assuming Steve was bilingual. He is the Captain America for one country. And I know that sounds weird, but Steve Rogers wasn't bound by a country. He was bound by the right thing. Alright, so then we cut to... Well, then John Walker says you bet on somebody with a stronger hand, which I don't think they touch on this again this episode. But I'm pretty sure that means Lamar Haskins or Hoskins? Hoskins? I think that means him and John are going to try to basically take what they can from Sam and Bucky. So then we cut to breaking Zemo out, or when they go to visit them. So Bucky goes to visit Zemo, and they have an incredible exchange. I don't have the actor's name written down. I should have, but the actor playing Baron Zemo is doing wonderfully. Very well. It's so nuanced and controlled and just a wonderful performance, honestly. Anything specific from this scene? I thought it was funny that Zemo tried to do the trigger words for the Winter Soldier and Bucky was unfazed. I love this new Bucky, by the way, this in control Bucky. And then we get we get the heist in progress. That's when Bucky is explaining to Sam the heist as it happens. It's a trope done in a lot of movies, so it makes sense. I thought it was executed pretty well. Their security at that prison is dog shit. I feel like Zemo might have more security. Like, is everybody an Avengers villain in there? I feel like there's got to be some petty thefts. Like, why would Zemo not be the most protected asset in that prison? So that was a little weird. But then we finally see the whole squad come together. This is the first time Zemo name drops that he was kind of like bounty hunting serum creators that Hydra was trying to enable to recreate the serum. And then we find out Zemo's rich. He has a private jet. He has like all these classic cars and everything. And when he's grabbing stuff from there, he grabs his mask. And then we find out where we're going. Well, first, on the plane. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Strawberries. Look at the light. All right, we're good. On the plane, we find out because Zemo has Bucky's. Oh, my hair is a travesty. It's like 10 a.m. I just rolled out of bed. My apologies. We find out that Zemo has Bucky's book. I don't know how he got it, but Bucky grabs him by the throat within a second and says, if you ever touch it again, I'll kill you. And I love that if you watch it, Zemo gives him a, like, understood. Subtle, but really good. Then we find out that is the book that Steve had. I think I had mentioned in an earlier video that it looked similar. I didn't know it was the same book. Then we have that awesome exchange about Marvin Gaye where Zemo says, it captures the black experience. And Sam is like, he's out of line, but he's right. I love that stuff. These three, the interplay between these characters, perfect. Beautiful. Loved it. Then we're in Madripoor. It was described as a pirate sanctuary. Sam compared it to Skull Island. And we find out that they have to stay in character or their lives depend on it. Like, they'll die if they don't stay in character. Bucky becomes the Winter Soldier again, obviously. Sam becomes somebody called the Smiling Tiger, who he admits he looks a lot like. And Zemo is Zemo. So then we show up in Madripoor at the bar, and Sam has to stay in character by taking a shot of what I believe is a snake's heart. I guess it could have been any organ, but I perceived it as a heart. And finally, Bucky starts whooping wholesale ass. And Zemo says, he's like, it didn't take him long to fall back to that now, did it? I think we're going to have to monitor Zemo manipulating Bucky. Bucky, I think, is trying really hard to be a different man. And Zemo is trying to not let him. And right now, Zemo's working with them, but I think we need to remember Zemo is a villain. So now we're in Madripoor. They get to meet with Selby, who gives them the info on Dr. Nagel and confirms that he and the serum are in Madripoor. And then a phone call from Sarah is what finally compromises them all. Sarah being Sam's sister. And then suddenly, like once they show up to Madripoor, this becomes John Wick. And that's because the guy who directed this episode, I believe, he definitely was involved in the first John Wick. I don't remember if it was as the director or the writer. So it had a very heavy John Wick vibe to it. So, Selby ends up getting sniped. Zemo says that he must have a guardian angel, and it's Sharon Carter. This is interesting here. Like, out of nowhere, all of the bounties in the city stop chasing them. Okay. We find out Nagel does indeed work for the power broker. all of this Sharon Carter stuff was badass. She was a badass. Her performance was cool, but it, I don't know, it felt like a change in characterization. She used to, well, I guess 2 years abroad running will do that. I was gonna say when she was like in Civil War or Winter Soldier, she was a little less edgy and intense, but I guess she was still a normal agent at that point. So living on the run in a place like Madripoor can add some edge to you, and I realize that as we're talking right now. So, um, Sharon says something like, "Don't get into trouble," and Zemo's like, "Trouble," and then it cuts and it's a party scene. And we get the GIF of the year with Zemo just fucking Jersey Shore fist bumping. um, then we cut to the docks in Madripoor. And I wrote down, this is like, tell me if I'm wrong. This is the first, we always see the Avengers talking on earpieces. This might be the first time we ever see them put the earpieces in. Like, why did they have earpieces in Endgame for the final battle when they had been dusted? How could they all. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Whew. Why did they all have the ability to communicate? This time, seeing the earpiece go in, I like that detail. So, let's see. Nagel was perfecting the serum and got dusted. He created 20 vials, and Carly stole them all. Um, Sharon, in the meantime, while Bucky, Zemo, and Sam are interrogating Nagel, who the actor is real. This guy came off as a creep. And good job by the actor. I liked this performance. Um, but while they are questioning the doctor, Sharon is outside whooping wholesale ass. She killed like 15 motherfuckers. Like Sam, what was Sam contributing to the interrogation? Sam couldn't have been out there. Not saying Sharon couldn't handle it. She obviously could, but Jesus. um Also, so I watch the channel New Rockstars a lot. I've mentioned them before. I don't like something they did this week. The guy Eric Voss, who does all their videos, was like pointing out editing issues in the show and pointing out real like beat by beat frames because like a knife disappears from a fight at some. It's so negative. Like, don't do that. That's so, I don't like that at all. Like, while they were editing, the knife disappears from the guy's hand, and they were like pointing that out. That's fucked up in my opinion. Like, mistakes happen. That's too much. Like, analyzing to that level, I don't know. I'm not here for that. Like, I don't know what goes into that technical side, and I don't think he does, the guy that called that shit out. And I don't think that's cool personally. Um, but that aside, because the fight sequences are awesome, and to point out that they mess something up as minuscule as a knife sound effect dropping, not being there, fuck off. Like, I don't know. Um, so then Zemo kills Nagel, and the dock, the fucking what are the cargo containers that they were meeting in gets RPG'd, and they're all cornered, and then Zemo shows up, blows up like 10 dudes, jumps down and beats the shit out of people, rolls up in one of his fancy cars again, and they dip. And Sharon says she can't come back to the U.S. now, but just get her the pardon that was promised. And they do a callback to the, "You're not going to move your seat up, are you?" No. I loved that. Um, then we get this scene between Carly Morgenthau, and I don't have this actor's name written down, but I'm gonna go find it because I really enjoyed this guy's performance. He had a really heartfelt post about the honor of like being on set with these guys and being able to hold the shield and everything. He seems like a really cool guy, and I like his performance. So I want to give you his name. Desmond Shame? Chiam. Desmond Chiam. I'm sorry I can't pronounce the last name, but I wanted to give this guy credit because I really enjoyed his performance. Um, if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's like the handsome Asian American fellow. Or Asian fellow. I don't know what country he's from. But the good-looking, square-jawed dude talking to Carly, I really enjoyed his performance. Um, and they describe what it was like taking the serum again, which they say it was like having fire in their veins, but it was worth it. And they start to talk about what they wanted to do if this wasn't the world they ended up in. And it's a really cute moment where Carly's like, I wanted to be a teacher. And then his character's like, maybe there's still time after this. And I like that interaction. And then we get back to one more jet scene with Sam and Bucky and Zemo. And the only thing I have written here from it is Bucky. Did Bucky just make his claim for the shield? Is Bucky going for the shield? He says he's going to take it from him himself. Does he intend on giving it back to Sam? Or did Bucky just stake his claim to being Captain America? I want it. I do. I don't think it happens. I think that moment in the trailer where they're like throwing the shield around in that front yard, I think that's the final moment of the show. Probably. It's like Bucky training Sam a little bit on how to use the shield, and then Bucky leaves, but Sam's not an enhanced human. Bucky's an enhanced human. Captain America is typically an enhanced human. I don't know. I would like to see it at some point, but I think Bucky would give the shield back to Sam, knowing it was Steve's wish. And I think he knows Sam is worthy. He knows Sam is the right man for the job. It's Sam who doesn't believe Sam is the right man for the job. And then we see the Flag Smashers robbing an outpost of like 6 months worth of supplies. Carly says, you were sitting on this. This is going to feed so many people, and you were sitting on it. And at this point, I felt like it was Robin Hood. You're stealing from the rich to give to the poor, and then Carly blew them up, or blew up a car and potentially killed people. Like, they're not the villains, but they're not doing things the right way. And then finally, Ayo. Her name is Ayo, I believe. The Wakandan woman at the end of the episode. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my god, she was in Civil War. When Black Widow approached T'Challa, and one of the security guards like stepped in front and basically said, I will remove you. That was her. Okay. I want to make sure Ayo is the right name. But, because Bucky started to find the beads, which led to him, going down that, like, back alley and finding her. Yeah, Ayo. Florence Kasumba. Florence Kasumba. And then she says, I'm here for Zemo. So Wakanda is now in play. Ayo is here, and I am so excited. Like, it's funny because I had mentioned Wakanda because maybe White Vision would go to Wakanda so that Shuri could download his emotional stakes back into him. But it's funny that this is the series that connects to Wakanda. And it makes perfect sense because Zemo killed King T'Chaka and the White Wolf, Bucky. Of course Wakanda would connect to this series. I'm really interested to see why she's here. I'm assuming they want to kill Zemo, obviously. He killed T'Chaka. But I wonder if that's it. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. I thought episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the best episode yet. Um, I think it's really hitting its stride. There's only 3 episodes left. Or is it 8? Was there 8 episodes or 6 episodes? I think it was 6. But, yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what's next for them with Zemo. Like, when does Zemo... I'm assuming he's still a villain. I don't think he becomes, like, a pseudo-ally. So keep your eye on Zemo. Now, there are people at the end when Sharon Carter leaves, she goes, we got 2 problems, big problems. Get in the car. People are saying, is Sharon Carter the power broker? Definitely not. But she's working for the power broker. And I don't know if I have a guess right. I'll give you a few people to look out for who could be the power broker. The number 1 person is Thaddeus Ross, who I think is president. I think Thaddeus Ross is the acting president of the United States in the MCU. We just haven't found that out yet. Because he was the Secretary of State, I think. But I think he could be the president by now. We haven't heard anything about where he is, so he could be the power broker / the president. I think the person I'd be most excited to see be the power broker, and the person I want more than anybody, Justin Hammer. Think about it. Remember Justin Hammer, and then tell me you don't want that. Sam Rockwell's performance in Iron Man 2 was too good to never come back. Like, Tony's gone. Iron Man is dead. There's kind of a gap, or maybe not a gap, but at one point, Hammer was kind of the government's Stark. So maybe now that Stark is actually dead, they're implementing him into their weapons division. They started working with him with the serum, and then he broke off and became the power broker. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it has something to do with the 10 rings from Shang-Chi. There are a lot of options, but I think they're handling the pacing of this show and the pacing of the distribution of information really well. Like, they're giving me enough every episode to be happy. So, that's going to be my review for episode 3. Best episode of the series yet. Give me your thoughts down below. Please like the video if you're still watching. Please give me a comment, even if you just say good job, even if you just say fuck you. Give me a comment. I need these things to help my channel get exposure. I don't like having to ask like this. If you know me, it makes me uncomfortable asking people for things like this. But please like the video, subscribe, comment. Those are the things I need from you. I'm providing you this content. Please give me those things back so I can continue to grow this channel, because I'm not getting a ton of exposure right now, and that's fine. I know this is a long game, but eventually, if I feel like there's no difference between making videos and just sending Snapchats to my friends, I'll just go back to that, because that doesn't take lights and a camera. So please give me the like, comment, subscribe, share this video on your socials, and I will see you guys. My next video, I'm either going to be doing some more sports stuff, or I might review the Loki trailer, but I need to figure out if I can do... I need to figure out how people do that, where it's like the screen sharing, essentially. I need to figure out how people do that, because I don't have my PS4, like, hooked up to my setup anymore, so I can't just, like, make that small screen. So if you have any advice for how to share screens in a recording, let me know, because I'd like to start doing trailer reviews, but I don't really have the means right now. So if I do a Loki review, you'll see it today. It probably will just be me reacting and then talking to you. You won't actually see the trailer. But if you know how that works, let your boy know so I can do that. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Also, last thing, if you have interest in thumbnails, hit me up. The Goose is out.